In this lesson, we're going to look at some properties of special parallelograms. Um, First off is a rhombus. A rhombus is a parallelogram that has congruent sides. All four sides are congruent. Um, so not only are they parallel, they have the same length measure of length. A rectangle is a parallelogram with four right angles. And then a square is a parallelogram that has both the rhombus and the rectangle put together. So it has four congruent sides and four right angles. So the rhombus corollary, a quadrilateral is a rhombus if and only if it has four congruent sides. Rectangle, if and only if it has four right angles. And a square, if and only if it is a rhombus and a rectangle. So if you look at it, we've talked about parallelograms already in this unit chapter, and that is both sides are parallel. Then we break it down farther into rhombuses, which have four congruent sides, and rectangles, which have four right angles, and where those two intersect, we get a square. So we're going to have to look here and check to see if these statements are always or sometimes true. So we have a rhombus Q, R, S, T. So Q, R, S, and T. So we learned earlier that the opposite angles are similar, are congruent. So angle Q is always congruent to angle S. So A is always. And then we want to know if angle Q is congruent to angle R. Well, in this drawing that I've made, that is not true. But if it were a rectangle or a square, then it's sometimes true. So B is going to be sometimes true. Alright, so we want to classify this quadrilateral. We see that we have two angles that are 70 degrees. The opposite one will also be 70. We see we have four congruent sides. So by definition, that is a rhombus. For any square, I'll try my best to draw a square. So we have J, K, L, M. Is JK always perpendicular to KL? One is always. Yes, they're right angles. Is FG, okay, let's change our to EFG now. F, G, and H. Is EF or FG going to be the same length as GH? In a normal rectangle, that would not be true, but in a square, in a rhombus, it would be true. So it is going to be sometimes true. And I'm not going to draw a sketch to show you that everything's congruent on a square. So here's two theorems dealing with a rhombus. The rhombus diagonal theorem. So diagonals go from opposite angles to opposite angles. Where they intersect in a rhombus, it is going to be a perpendicular line, meaning that it's going to form right angles. And then the rhombus opposite angles theorem is saying that the rhombus, the diagonals will bisect the angles into two equal angles. Put that to test. We want to find the measures of the numbered angles. So angle 1 we know is, because it bisects and we know it's a rhombus, is going to be 90 degrees. Angle 2, because it's an alternate interior angle to the 61 degree angle, and we know that from parallel lines that we've studied earlier, is going to be 61 degrees. We know that angle 3 is going to be 61 degrees because the diagonal bisects angle A into two 61 degree portions. And then finally, angle 4, we know it's in part of triangle, the triangle formed by A, D, and the bisecting diagonals. So angles 1, 2, and 3, 1, 3, and 4, angles 1 plus angle 3 plus angle 4 have to add up to 180 degrees in a triangle. So we know that we're going to subtract 151 degrees, and we're going to get 29 degrees for angle 4. In the example before, and I brought that forward, ADC is going to be A, D, and C. It's going to have two 29 degree angles, so that included angle is going to be 58 degrees, 29 times 2. And then we want to know what the measure of angle BCD is, and that includes a 61 degree angle and another 61 degree angle, so that's going to be 122 degrees. Finally, we want to find the measures of angles 1, 2, 3, and 4. By rule, angle F is and angle plus angle G is going to equal 180 degrees. By rule, they're supplementary. So angle F plus 118 equals 180. 180 minus 118 is going to be 62. So angle F is equal to 62. We're going to divide that in 2, and we're going to get angles 3 and 4. Angle 3 equals 31. Angle 4 equals 31. We also know that the opposite side has the same total measurement, so it will have the same divided measurement. Angle 2 will equal 31, and angle 1 will equal 31. Alright, here we're introducing the rectangle diagonals theorem. So if you are trying to build something that's a rectangle like a truck bed, the best way to see if you are squared up is to measure your diagonals and make sure they're the same. So in looking at the sample on the side, question A says the opening must be a rectangle given the measurements in the diagram. Can you assume that it is? Unless you know either that there are right angles on all four sides or that the diagonals measure the same, you can't assume that it's a rectangle. So you measure the diagonals of the opening. The diagonals are 54.8 inches and 55.3. What can you conclude about the opening? That it's not a rectangle, and it's some sort of other parallelogram because the side measures are the same. Actually, you don't know that it's parallel either, so it's just that. So here we have the measures of the two diagonals of a rectangle. They're 5x minus 31, and the other one is 2x plus 11. We're going to subtract 2x, and we're going to add 31 plus 31, and we're going to get 3x equals 42. X is going to be equal to 14. So then our sides are both going to be 39 units long. Question 6 says, suppose you measure only the diagonals of the window and they're the same. Can we assume they're equal? Actually, we can't if we don't know the measures of the sides. So we have to have both, either that the sides are parallel or that they are equal length along with that diagonal. So example 5, we're going to switch those measurements up. 4x minus 15 equals 3x plus 8. We're going to subtract 3x from both sides. We're going to add 15 to both sides. We're going to get x equals 17. Put that back in. 3 times 17 is 51 plus 8 is going to be 59. And then both will measure 59. Lastly, we have a parallelogram. We need to see if it's going to be a rectangle or a rhombus. So the first thing we need to do is we need to find the measure of AC. So we're going to use the distance formula. We're going to take -2 minus 4 and square it, and 6 minus 0 and square it, and we're going to add those together, and we get square root of 72. And that can be reduced to 6 square root 2, because you could have the square root of 36 and the square root of 2 come out of that as factors, and then the square root of 36 is 6. And then we're going to do the same with BD, and we're going to have 6 plus 4 squared, and 8 plus 2 squared, it's going to be the square root of 200. Again, that's 2 times 100, so we're going to end up with 10 square root 2. So those do not form a rectangle. They're not the same measure. Now we want to check our slope of AC. So we're going to have 6 minus 0 over -2 minus 4, and we end up with 6 over -6, so the slope of AC is -1. We want to check the slope of BD now, and we get 8 plus 2 over 6 plus 4, and that equals 10 over 10, which is equal to 1. Now you'll remember that before we learned that perpendicular lines have negative reciprocals for slopes, and this is a negative reciprocal, so this is a rhombus because of the perpendicular bisectors, diagonals.